Hey guys, welcome to MonoxydeGaming. I am bringing you another game of the day. This time it's going to be a TvZ on Frozen Temple. I chose this as game of the day because it does have some really cool, interesting things to learn in terms of engagements from the Terran side and from the Zerg side. So keep in mind this is about 4.4k MMR, so we're still in Diamond League. But I still think we can all take away a couple of things from this game. I am watching this game from a replay. I actually played this game while I was at DreamHack Montreal. So this is just kind of the latter game I was playing there, but I wasn't recording with the OBS, so we're gonna have to watch from the replay. So yeah, I'm gonna walk you through this build for those Terrans who kind of want to know this build. So I'm gonna do a 16 Marine a drop, which is a very standard thing. As you can see right now, the drone is harassing the barracks. The proper response is always to pull 2 SCVs, because you want one to replace the hurt SCV into building, and one to chase the drone, so it doesn't keep poking at the newly working SCV. So it's going to be 16 barracks followed by 16 gas. Everyone knows this opening. But then I'll tell you when variation starts to happen. So I do like to scout a lot earlier on this map, Frozen Temple, because Zergs tend to do an early pull because they go around either the top side or the bottom side, and then they try to blindside your command center and trying to make it cancel, which is almost game ending if you cancel a natural CC. So better safe than sorry. Normally after a barracks finishes and you would send it across the map, the hatchery should be almost done, and as you could have seen earlier there, it was almost done. If it had been like only like halfway done, then you'd know then the pool was done. But I do check in the main, and there was the pool was not done. So right now, after you build the CC and the orbital, the next thing to do is to build the second barracks before the depot. After that, after the barracks, you start the reactor, and then you place a depot after. Now once you hit 22 supply, you're going to have to put down that second gas as soon as you can. There you go. And there you have it. This is the start of the build. This is pretty much the most you have to remember. So yeah, you can place that second barracks down before the depot because you're going to build a reactor anyway, so you don't really need that depot super fast. You can build it after the reactor. Yeah. So you want to build the factory as soon as possible. I kind of mess up in this area because I was microing, and then I realized, oh shit, I got a lot of gas. I should have placed that down. You see, I'm about 50 minerals late. That was a really big mistake there. I wanted to try to get a grenade off before leaving, but the thing you have to remember when you're being chased as a Reaper is that if you throw a grenade, his movement stops. It doesn't actually move while throwing the grenade, so it made my Reaper stop, and then the Zerglings actually got a finishing blow. So as soon as the tech lab finishes, you go ahead, research stim. Everything should line up quite well. After that, you just go, just try to balance the SCVs and Marines. Now I build a bunker here just because I lose the Reaper, and Zergs tend to put on huge amounts of aggression once the Reaper dies because they're like they officially can't see what you're doing. So a lot of the times when you lose the Reaper, you should build a bunker because they can counterattack really hard because they know you don't know anything. So I build a bunker there, even though it slows down my SCV and my Marine production. It's always better to do that than to lose the game. So great, bunker finishes, gonna set the wall in, and as you can see, the Zerglings do come a little bit late on that pull there. I try to be as cost efficient as possible. Unfortunately, it's going to die, and I'm going to have to lift. But if you look at the worker count, he's actually behind me. I put the worker count up at the top left for now. And right now you can see he's droning back, so he's droning behind this. And this was the idea. Just putting some pressure, making the orbital lift. It's not the end of the world. Normally you would switch the factory with the starport for the medevacs, but you don't really need them right now. Right now I'm going to build Hellions out of that reactor, because Hellions used to be made not just for map control, but also to stop Ling all-ins. So, you know, build Hellions to stop Ling all-ins. Still a thing. Yeah. I don't think you need more than... you need like 1 SCV to sustain Zergling damage on a depot, but you need 2 to actually repair it. Like to out-repair the DPS of Zerglings on a depot. So I sort of half-assed it there. I'm going to throw in an armory, because I'm like, he doesn't know really that I have Hellions, so no way to do that. But now he does know. So here's a little bit of micro. I'm gonna pick up here. It's out of surround, and then I just gotta micro the Hellions as much as I can though. And woo, poof, that was 4 Zerglings in one swipe. That was really good. So at this point, not much use of. I could have canceled the armory, not my use, because as soon as they see the Hellions, they're like, I wasn't sure if she saw the armory yet. But in any case, as soon as you see the Hellions, they would have been really safe. They know Hellions are on the map. They're gonna make more queens. They might even make a Roachworn, which I don't remember if you did, but yeah. So at this point, I could just repair the 2 Hellions and switch it up. I get my medevacs like I want to. I'm building a Liberator instead. So now it's time. A little bit supply blocked. I'm going to start walling off this time. So I have no use for these Hellions, so I put in the Hellbats and go do a little drop. It's the least I can do. At least what I'll try to do is that since I'll have a Liberator, I can actually like multi-prong a little bit. It's always good to multi-prong, because if you only go 1 prong, it's fairly simple to defend. Unless like you know he's on the map, and then you can only 1 prong attack, in which case it's gonna be okay. A lot of Overlords there, so at least I know where the Overlords are, because I'm going to be making a Viking soon. And there are some Overlords. So I see he has a Spore, so I go here, I see there's no Spore. Okay, so let's drop here. Could have held position better than that, but actually he doesn't even lose a drone. I was quite lucky by him. I try to drop at the top, sort of mess up on the control there. I think I killed like a drone, I'm not even sure. But if we go back to the workers tab, 45-36, yeah. I mess up here. I don't know why I built a barracks in the main. I meant to build a CC. So there you go, CC goes down. A little bit of a late CC, but it's fine. A really cool thing about the Liberator to talk about. So as he repositions Spore Crawler, I really love the time that they put on the Spore Crawler, because now if you react instantly, then the Liberator will be safe. And if the Queen reacts instantly with the Spore Crawler, then their mineral line should be relatively safe too. So it's a really cool timing but dynamic. Now I do a really cool thing here. I was like, if I have 2 Liberators, and I liberate 1, which is the natural, and the 3rd, as you can see, when he's going to pull the drones, he can't pull it to his other expansion because it's Liberator though, so he has to pull them in the middle, and this is where I attack. So I do a lot of damage here. As you can see, the drone count is completely demolished. I overstim though, which is a mishotkey thing, but I'm completely fine with this. I thought that was a little cool move I did. Sometimes just thinking a little bit ahead. If you can't pull to another mineral line, then you can try and catch them in that sort of between zone. And at this point, I just try to be as annoying as possible. And seeing as the queens are trying to defend, I can come with my Viking there to pick up the Overlords that I spotted earlier. At this point, I just try and focus on not being supply blocked and macroing behind this. So the damage has been done. I'm quite proud of it. Although I do see a lot of Ling Banes, but I had made a tech lab anyway to make a tank, because I was sure he was going to go into Roaches, because Roaches are extremely popular on this map. So I preemptively make a tank, but apparently this guy's going Ling Baneling. And tanks aren't actually really that good versus Ling Bane, because they take 2 hits instead of 1 of a Widow Mine. It's a little bit unfortunate. This army is a little bit small, but I mean I'm still gonna play safe because I know I have a lot of medevacs. So if push comes to shove, I can still pick up every single unit inside the medevac, so that should be fine for now. That's when kind of more adventurous like this. But yeah, also test the waters. I can see there's Banelings, and I'm really don't even hesitate to attack very soon, because I know I can just pick up and they'll run into tanks. However, a miscalculation will happen very soon, which I did not expect. So I come here, and the Banelings come in, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's fine, I can just pick up. And then mutas happen. Yeah, there you go. So this is where I kind of mess up. Right now I should have picked up everything immediately, but I didn't. What I did is that I focused on picking up the tank, and which means my Marines died. Picking up the tank was not worth it, because it only got 1 more shot off, and that wasn't enough to actually kill stuff. I think if you wanted to save the tank, you have to guarantee yourself that it can fire at least 2 more shots before leaving. So right there, I think the best idea was just pick up everything and leave and boost out. And earlier, yeah, that Mutalisks were picked off that tank. It was a little bit of a miss micro. It's not too bad. I mean, as I said, tanks weren't the greatest versus Lingbane, so should have switched right away. So this is where a mistake. So when you're pushed back, do not re-push again, because that's stupid, because you know he just had an advantage, so it's like, now he has a bigger army, and I sort of mess up here. I should not have pushed to. I tried to split, I sort of oversplit, but really, my army is so small that no matter how much I split, it's just not going to be cost efficient at all. This is where I sort of started to panic a little bit, and I was like, okay, I need Widow Mines, not tanks, it's terrible. He does a little bit of a mistake here. You should be very aware as a Zerg player that your Banelings are slower than your Zerglings, so I just picked them off from the back here. This is really fortunate. So we start stabbing and try to snipe the Banelings. This is actually a really hard thing to do, like sniping something in movement. I do get them. I could have picked up here and walled off, but I guess I didn't. So going on the wall is a little bit useless. I'm still not, like, I don't feel like I'm in the worst position, because judging from the army he pushed me with, and it wasn't too bad. So now, same thing from his side. If he had been pushed back right now, and then pulled back, and then made and like tried to make an army and push back again, he knows that not only have I pushed him back, but I have the home ground advantage, which was my mistake earlier. He had pushed me back, and then I tried to instantly push back in the same middle lane, but obviously, plus he had defender advantage, plus he had already pushed me back, so it was just ended up being just no overextension. Now, I know his mutos are going to try and pick up this third base, because I know he is a little bit off on economy, so he's going to try to hurt mine, so he's going to have his Mutalisk active, so I can send this drop out without any problem, and just rally Marines to my third, and it should be fine. He does have quite a few mutas, but I'm going to try to make a turret. I'm just going to try and stall for time. I just want... this is where it is really important. I did this on purpose. I gave way more attention to my drop right now, because I knew that on the off chance it was the queen, I didn't just want to drop and then try to defend at home, and then the medevac would have been sniped completely for free. So I gave that medevac like that few extra seconds of attention to at least drop as many Marines as I can in case there was a queen. If I had not looked, I would have lost the entire medevac. And since I didn't, I actually killed a couple of drones and I killed the queen. So that was completely worth the attention I gave to it. Alright, so here it's all about defending, so I just need to put a bunker down. I don't know if I put a second turret yet, but some mules come back. I don't think I canceled that. So right now he's just trying to be annoying, but I know that when they're trying to be annoying, it's because they're hiding the fact that, you know, things aren't going good at home. You know, it's like real life. Like, if someone's really fucking annoying and is like just a complete asshole, and something's wrong at home, man, they should talk to someone. So I wasn't too worried. I do scan there. I sort of missed talking about it, but I scanned there just to see if he had expanded there, just in case, because I know I'm going to be pushing at the bottom soon. I just want to make sure I don't attack the wrong base and, you know, waste time like that. So see, I put a bunker down, and I'm going to try and push the bottom. Medevac, got to be a little bit careful. We don't want it to get out. So I do cancel that, and this is where it gets kind of tricky, because there is actually no real way to protect your command center. Because unless you put a bunker in front of it or Marines in front of it, but even if you put a mine and a turret, then Mutalisk still have range. They can still go around and try and pick it off. So I pre-split here, really important, because I know he has a lot of Banelings, and I'm pretty proud of my splits here. It was probably the best trade I could hope for, but he does have a lot of Mutalisks and cleans it up. But at least I kill a lot of Banelings. You shouldn't, in terms of like how you view Banelings in engagement, you should view it instead of being a destructive force that's going to kill all your army. Remember that Banelings are suicidal. So when a Baneling blows up, the opponent loses supply. Don't forget that. So if you see a lot of Banelings, then you know that Zerg is going to lose a lot of supply after a battle. So here, see, he pushed me back, and then I'm trying to push back again, but I'm like, wait a minute, I did this mistake before. If I'm pushed back, I do not push back into him in a defensive advantage. So I just wait for a little bit more of an army before pushing out, which is the right thing to do. Okay, I'm pretty much dead even in worker count. So as soon as my army groups out, we're going to try to attack again. And this is where things get interesting, because I'm going to talk about Zerg dynamics in Ling versus Bane. So here I stim, I sort of go forward. Put my Widow Mines down. Here I'm going to start to split, but my army isn't huge. And when a Terran army is this small, I don't think it's worth it to make Banelings, because all I'm going to do is here right here, I just oversplit and it's fine. Because Banelings are suicidal units. If you had not had any of those Banelings and just had Zerglings, because if you oversplit, splitting is good against Banelings, but it's terrible against Lings, because you can have multiple Links around one Marine. So yeah, if you oversplit, then it's going to be really good against Banelings, but it's going to be absolutely terrible versus Zerglings. And what he could have done, not only would it have cost him less money, he probably could have teched up at this point. So yeah, I see more Banelings, so I can over pre-split again. If Zerglings, if just he had not made no Banelings and just had Zerglings come in here, probably could have been a lot better. Plus he had quite a bit of mutas. So I see all these suicidal Banelings, I can oversplit and it's good, it's still going to be cost efficient. If those were all just plain Zerglings and he had just masked them up together, I probably would have lost that engagement. So now the next thing is you have to start noticing when their momentum starts to drop. Right now he's actually banking quite a few money, as you can see. He has like 2,000 gas and stuff like that. So I guess maybe he sort of like wants to think his gas. See, this is like super oversplitting. If he had just had Lings, this would be so dead. But instead he made 4 Banelings, which were pretty useless. And then Widow Mines appear. So yeah. So now I start to fall back a little bit. Starting to get a little bit bad for me, but at least I got a 4th base, so that's all good. I just gotta regroup and then try to re-push my momentum. I think 3-3 is done if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 3-3 is done. So I think the one thing you should notice right now I'm backed up and I gave him a little time. I think I'm gonna scan soon as main to notice if his hive is there or not. So I send this Widow Mine here just to make sure. Because Zergs tend to expand on the opposite direction you're trying to put pressure on. So if I'm putting pressure on the bottom expansion, she's probably going to push at the top. Expand at the top. So right now I should scan soon to notice if he has a thing or not. Yeah, I scan here. No hive. I'm so happy. Since I have 3-3. I know he doesn't have Ultralisks and he doesn't have 3-3 as well. So that's a really good thing to know. When you're doing this. So I pushed in. There's gonna be there's a Mutalisk counterattack right now on my 3rd base, which isn't too bad because I know he's not there, so I can see she's Liberators up freely. I try to repair the turret, so I just try and repair. But I look at my minimap. If ever the Zerglings would come in, I would have completely abandoned that and I would start splitting. So whenever you start winning an engagement versus Zerg, there's no worse thing in StarCraft than to think you've won. So as soon as this started to go well for me, then I probably would have had to rescan, but although I scanned early to know there was no hive. But as soon as you start winning versus a Zerg, like in terms of army, scan his main, because maybe he's like sacrificing army to go tech, and then he gets Ultralisk out, and then you're pretty much fucking dead. So right there, he drops his GG, because there's nothing he can do. I can actually see he's not expanding towards the top anymore. So yeah, in any game, you have to, especially versus Zerg, you have to think, even if you're beating his army, you can never think, oh, I'm winning now, because maybe he just is sacrificing a little bit of army value to like tech up. If you think you're winning against someone because you're killing expansion, and you're like, oh, I got this, not only can Ultralisk like fuck you in the back, but also he might have a hidden base. This would happen all the time, right? You absolutely think you're winning, and then for some reason he just has a hidden base somewhere and he gets like 3-3 or something, and then you're completely screwed because you thought you won. So every time you think you win a game, you're winning a game, take even more precaution. Like, it's like the most dangerous thing to do. So every time you think you're winning a game, act as if something will fuck you in the ass. So just play super safe. Check the expansions, build your Ghost Academy, start ticking up, build 1 million starports, whatever it needs. Every time you start winning, just think you might not be.